So now we will try to encrypt and decrypt our payload, our calc payload with AES. So as usual, we go to our source code. And if you take a look at this, it looks almost identical to the example of when we had XOR decryption and encryption. The only thing, actually there are two differences, but the main difference is we use different decryption algorithm, which is AES decrypt, and we also have two variables, uninitialized, which is calc payload, and key, which is also missing, and I will explain why in a second. So, and the rest of the code is really the same. Okay. So let's go to our Python, additional Python script which I've coded, and which will produce the encrypted version of our payload in AES format. So this code is really similar to the previous one with XOR. We also read the file from disk into plain text, so the data, the payload is being read to plain text, and then we run AES enc function, which is defined here. Okay, and this function takes a key which is randomized at runtime, so it produces 16 byte string, random string. Okay, so this key is used in AES enc function, and the key is then transformed into the hash SHA-256 hash, and then it is used as a key for encrypting plain text. Okay, and the result is stored in ciphertext, and on the output we get this time we get two outputs: AES key, because we need that to be included into in our C template, so we need that as well as with the ciphertext in C hash array. Okay, so we can now do that. C Python AES and calcbin again. So we take our key first, we copy this into our key here, so paste, and our payload as well, encrypted payload, and we can paste it here and save it. And AES, so let's take a look at AES decrypt function. So it uses crypto API from Windows. It has several functions, and basically it is just a reverse operations to what we have in our AES function. So it creates some context which is needed for preparing, everything in crypto API. Then we create a hash for we create a hash variable. Okay, then we calculate the hash for our key, and we derive from this hash a key. So basically this function converts the hash into the format understandable by the decrypt function. Okay, and then we decrypt it here. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. The rest of the code is really the same as with XOR. So let's compile it and run it. And as usual, we attach our debugger to see what's going on. So implant, and again, let's see how the decryption works. So in first dump, we will see our payload being decrypted, okay, our calc payload. And the second is the allocated memory, which should be empty right now, and it is. So this is the payload encrypted with AES algorithm. So let's continue and hit enter. And as you can see, the payloads got decrypted. We have our calc exe, and it also landed in our allocated buffer. So if we hit enter again, our payload get executed. So this concludes this part with about encoding and encrypting payloads. And now we will move on to the next section.